Hi, my name is Pete Hahn, and thank you for watching this tutorial video. Be sure to visit www.hahn-tech.com for the full library of video tutorials. I hope this video increases your knowledge and helps you become more efficient with this topic, whether for home or work. Please support this channel by sharing these videos with your friends and colleagues. Hi guys, and welcome to today's video. This video was prompted by a lot of requests we've received from viewers asking about AutoTrades and whether or not you can do auto trading in Thinkorswim. We've done several videos on strategies, and viewers automatically think that you should be able to take a strategy and implement it into an auto trading strategy on the Thinkorswim platform. While it's not directly supported in the Thinkorswim platform, there is a way that you can use something that's called Conditional Orders that accepts very basic study parameters to execute orders on individual ticker symbols. So we're going to be showing you how you can use these tools together. One, to build your conditional order generates a little section of code automatically. And I'm going to show you how you take that little section of code that is used by that conditional order to build a strategy so that you can visualize that conditional order. And using a strategy, given the techniques we've taught in previous videos, you can then use those backtesting techniques to extract the data from your conditional orders and analyze its performance over time. So before we jump right in, it's important that I cover the disclaimer, and that is that I am not a professional trader, nor am I a certified financial advisor. Nothing in this video should be interpreted as an advertisement to buy or sell any financial instrument. My sole purpose in this video is to explain how you can use the tools in Thinkorswim platform to formulate your own trading ideas and strategies and implement those using the tools available in the platform. So I'm here for educational purposes only. And because of the topic of today's video, I want to emphasize this one step further. I want you guys to understand that even though I'm going to be taking this and breaking it down into very simple, easy to follow steps, it does not mean that any of this is going to be easy to apply, and it doesn't mean that it is without great risk. I highly recommend that you practice using paper money. You will see that this video is published using the paper money side of Thinkorswim. Practice, practice, practice using paper money before you put any real capital at risk. And even after that, I would recommend that you have Thinkorswim set up for you a sub-account which you can fund with a very small amount of capital, and start off, if you're going to be trading this with live orders, start off with very small quantities until you get comfortable. There's a lot of things that can go wrong here, and I really want to caution you guys severely that you want to take this slow, and you want to practice on paper money, and you want to use limited capital until you get really comfortable with this. This can wreck an account in a heartbeat if you don't really understand how all these pieces fit together. Okay? Alright, so we're going to start with a slideshow, just a few brief slides, maybe 4 I think. I'm going to show you ahead of time what the Condition Wizard looks like. I'm going to show you how you create those conditions. I'm going to show you some templates. You're going to be amazed at how simple it is to build a strategy from the output of the Condition Wizard. It's really, really simple. Let's see, for strategies, I've got 4 examples. This one that you're seeing on the screen here is based upon a Bollinger Band and an RSI. Another one that I'm going to be showing you is based upon a Keltner channel and Stochastic. Next up is going to be Ichimoku. So we've got a strategy based upon Ichimoku that we can implement using conditional orders. And the last one is a surprise. It's based upon an indicator that we've provided for you before. It's actually from another author. The source code from that author has got some recursion in it. Recursion is a fancy term in computer terms. All you need to understand is that it doesn't work with the conditional order function. It rejects it, and we'll show you that step by step. Also, we'll also be providing the code for that indicator a version of the code that doesn't have that recursion that will actually work with the Condition Wizard. Okay, so that will be our fourth and last strategy that we'll cover, showing you step by step, so be sure to stick around for the end. We're going to show you also where to go on our website to get that code that's updated to be accepted in the Condition Wizard. Okay, so I'm really excited about this video. I've spent a great deal of time preparing for this, and we might go a little long on this video, so guys, be patient, stick with me here, and we're going to try and go through this quickly but thoroughly. You can also see on the chart that we have an order here for 100 at market, and it's set at 4281 according to the chart. However, that is a conditional order. Let's go to the monitor page where we can look at our open orders and we can examine the conditions. We're going to use the gear icon in the right and see, we can go ahead and look at this is explaining what the order is. And see, you can have a description down here of the order. Submit the following order, and the order is to wait until the following condition is satisfied. And that is the RSI from 1 bar ago crosses above 25 within 2 bars, and close crosses below the Bollinger Band's lower band within 8 bars. When this condition is true, this order will be executed. Until that time, it will be in wait condition. As you can see, that's the status right now, wait condition. Okay, so this is what we're going to show you how to build, guys. This is the order, how it looks when you're managing your open working orders. And you can go ahead and click this gear icon here. It shows you that the condition is based upon a study of the underlying symbol. And the gear icon allows you to see the code. This is generated by the Condition Wizard. Very simple. And so we'll go ahead and close this stuff down. Let's go back to charts and let's go ahead and get into the slideshow. Once we get done with the slideshow, then I'm going to show you the individual steps of how you create the code using the Condition Wizard and then copy and paste that code into the template to build your strategies. And I want to really emphasize again the almost part of the title of this video. It's Thinkorswim AutoTrading, almost. So this is the best that we can get with Thinkorswim's platform and the tools available to us. It's really not auto trading in the true sense as you have available on other platforms, but this is a way that you can take your strategies and implement them in a way that will execute while you're not sitting in front of the chart. Okay, so it's all based upon conditional orders. This is built into the Thinkorswim platform. I'm not adding any enhancements to it. I'm just using the tools as they're intended by Thinkorswim. They're very basic. You can base them on studies like the RSI and the Bollinger and the MACD, but it's best to use the built-in studies. If you use a custom study, then there's chances that you will have run into an issue where it will be too complicated to be evaluated and it won't be accepted by the Condition Wizard tool. Okay, so the Condition Wizard is basically going to be using to build the code, and then we're going to copy and paste that code into a template. We're going to be able to then visualize the conditional order on a chart. We're going to be able to do that either looking at the lower study, as you saw in the previous chart, or by backtesting the conditional order in a strategy. So I'm going to show you how to build both. Okay, let's go to the second slide here, and so we'll get a first look at the wizard that's used to build these conditions. You can see in the upper left we have a Condition Wizard tab as well as a ThinkScript Editor tab. So we can build conditions using the wizard, or we can manually type them in using the ThinkScript Editor. The Condition Wizard makes it easy to build the code. Notice in this particular example I have 2 conditions, and both of them combine to form the signal at the bottom. Alright, so then the next stage I want to show you is a little further detail. This is actually what happens when you hit the Add Condition button. It opens up this window that allows you to pick from the left side and the right side. You can pick from studies, or you can pick from a price. You can pick from many different things. I'm going to show you that when we get to that part of the video. And in the center is your comparison, your comparator. You know, how are you comparing the left side to the right side? So in this case, we're simply saying when the RSI crosses above the value of 25. Simple as that. When you hit save, it automatically gets dropped in as part of the condition rule set. Okay, so you want to add a second one, you just click the Add Condition button. It opens up another window and you go ahead and make your selections. In this case, we're simply stating when the low of a candle crosses below the lower band of a Bollinger Band study. Simple as that. Press Save and it's automatically registered and it builds the code for you automatically, and then you can copy and paste it into a strategy in a lower study. It's really, really neat. So here are the two templates that we're going to be using. This is amazingly simple, and you don't need to understand how to read code. All you need to do is, we'll provide this on our website too. You just copy and paste these templates over into a normal text editor or directly into your Thinkorswim platform, as I will demonstrate. And you can see what we're going to do is replace this 0 under the signal. For the signal, we're going to replace the 0 with the code that we copy and paste out of the Condition Wizard. And we're going to do the same thing for the exit rule. We're just going to copy and paste that code out of the Condition Wizard and replace the 0 with that code. And it's going to instantly build our strategy. Bang! That's it. Huh? How easy is that? Wait till you see it. You're just going to be blown away how easy this is. And then same thing for the lower study. It's exactly the same thing. We just replace the 0 that's in here in the template with our code, and it will automatically display those signals. Okay? So I'm ready to get started, guys. I hope you're excited about this. Next, we're going to get back to the charts. I'm going to show you how to do this stuff step by step. And as we get back to the charts, what I've done is I've zoomed in a little bit on this one particular signal. You can see the strategy enters here on this bar. It's a daily bar on 122. You can see the signal occurred on the previous bar. Now let me explain to you how that signal was generated. It was generated first by the low of this candle crossing below the lower band of the Bollinger Band. The next step was for the RSI to cross above 25, which is this yellow line down here, 25. So you can see that as the low went below the lower band of the Bollinger Band, the RSI was also crossing below the 25. So in order for the RSI to have crossed above 25, it implies that it must have been below 25 previously. I just wanted to point that out. It might seem simple and obvious to some, but others you might need to let that sink in. So because that occurred here on this bar, this is the bar where the RSI had actually gone from below 25 to above 25. So that gave us our trigger signal. And then on the open of the following bars, when the strategy said, we've got a buy signal, we need to place a buy order. Okay? So let's take that particular item first. Before we do the exit, let's get the entry worked out. Okay? So we're going to go to the Trade tab, and then from the Trade tab, we're going to create an order. And we'll create the order by clicking the Ask Price. And now we have a buy order for 100 shares. And over here in the far right, you can see that there's a little gear icon. When you press that gear icon, that's when it opens the conditional order rules. Now we're going to be focused on the bottom section, but first we want to make sure that we've got this set to a market order, because we want it to go ahead and execute as soon as the condition is present. And we're going to leave time and force set to good till cancel. Otherwise you would have to re-enter the order every single day. Then the next step is we're going to go down here and click just below the word symbol, and then the symbol appears. There's nothing really to click on there. It's kind of clumsy, and unless you really know that it's there, you don't know that it's there, right? And then you go down here to study. Okay? Now when we go down to study, we'll go ahead and click edit, and that will draw up the dialog window that we use to build our conditions. Notice it comes with one as a default value here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to delete that one because we don't want it. We're going to add a condition. Now what was our first condition? You remember? It was we want to know when the study RSI crosses above the value of 25. That's it. I'm done. Yeah, did you miss something? Let me press cancel. So once again, add condition. I'm just going to click that button, add the condition. then I'm going to select study from the available options here. And then I can actually click in this box and start typing in the name of a study. I'm clicking the RSI. I want it to say when the RSI crosses above, and I want it to be a value. Okay, so I select value and I change the default value of 100 to 25, press enter. That's it. I'm going to hit save, and we've created our first condition. You can see that we've got a few spikes here. So the condition preview, now I want to give you a heads up here, guys, pay attention, because by default this screen may be shrunk, okay, and the condition preview may be collapsed, okay. So in order to be able to see that, if it doesn't show up, just expand this down and make room for it to all be displayed, okay. Now we're going to also need room to display both of our conditions, so I'm going to drag that down a little bit. I want to add another condition, so I'm going to click the Add Condition button. And what is our next condition? Our next condition is the low of the candle needs to cross below the lower band of the Bollinger Band. So from here I'm going to select price because I want to access the candles. And from this I'm going to select low because I want the low of the candle. And I want it to be crossing below, so when the low crosses below, and this is going to be the study, and then I'm going to type in BOLL to get to the Bollinger Bands. And I want it to say not the midline, but the lower band. So this says when the low of the candle crosses below the Bollinger Band's lower band, the condition is satisfied. We're going to press save, and you'll notice that those two signals disappeared. Well, there's a little bit extra that we need to do here, and for this we're going to have to go to the ThinkScript editor. It would be nice if this option were available within the Condition Wizard, but it's not. Maybe we should let Thinkorswim know that they're missing something here. And this is a little bit of information that you need to know. I'm going to type in within 8 bars. So I just happen to know that this is what works here, okay? And so what we're doing, sorry guys, but I'm going to explain this, trust me. So when I say within 8 bars, what it's telling the Condition Wizard is that once we have a candle, a low of a candle, crossing below the lower band of the Bollinger Band study, then we want to look to see if the RSI crosses above 25 within 8 bars of that event. So it's 8 bars separating those two events. The first one that happens is the low crossing below the lower band of the Bollinger Band. The second one that happens is the RSI crossing above 25. And it's saying that as long as it occurs within 8 bars of each other, then that's a good signal. Okay? So, and here we are right now at the stage where we're ready to copy and paste our code. So we've already built it using the Condition Wizard. We really only had to write a couple of things here. We did have to write a little bit of code technically, but it doesn't look like code, does it? No, it looks like normal English language. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and press cancel here because we don't want to actually create this order. We just wanted to use the Condition Wizard to build the condition. So we're going to hit cancel and cancel. And we're going to go back to charts, and then from the chart menu we're going to go to studies, edit studies. Now I've already created it here, as you can see, but I'm going to show you how to build one. So we're going to go to strategies, click new, and that's going to create a new strategy. Okay, see the new strategy. Go ahead and name it something. Okay, I'm just going to put this in temporarily. I'm going to delete it when I'm done. And now we need to paste in our condition. There it is. So we've got our condition that's generated by the Condition Wizard already populated in here. And notice what became available. Now we have the Condition Wizard tab is available. So if we need to edit and modify the condition for this strategy, we can do so right here now and then copy and paste it later on out to the Condition Wizard. However, once we add in the template, it's going to disable the Condition Wizard. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy in the template, and I had that stored off screen here. I'm going to use a keyboard shortcut to cut that condition out, so it's stored in the clipboard. I'm going to erase the 0 because this is our buy signal, and then I'm going to paste. Okay, and so here I've gone ahead and replaced the 0 for the signal with the condition that we generated. Okay, simple as that. Next, I'm going to show you how to build the exit condition and copy and paste that in. So what do we have for the condition that gives us our exit? In this case, what I decided to do is use the Bollinger Band again, and in this case, if the high of the bar exceeds the upper band of the Bollinger Band, then look to the RSI and find out when it goes lower. So that's when I have it triggered. And so you can see here, that's when the signal is triggered, and this next bar at the opening of the next bar is when the strategy actually executes the sell to close order. So let's show you how to build that in the Condition Wizard. We're going to go again back to the Trade tab. We already have our order in place, so I'm going to click the gear icon, open up the order rules, and we're going to click here just below the word symbol and then just below the word method, and then we're going to go to study and click edit, and then we're going to delete the condition that's already there. I'm going to add a condition. Okay, so I'm going to click the add condition button, and for the condition, this one is also going to be a study based on the RSI, and in this case we want to tell if the RSI has gone lower from one bar to the next. So what we want to know then is the RSI of the current bar is less than the study RSI, and we're going to use the offset. So that is saying we want the RSI of the current bar to be less than the RSI of the previous bar. Okay, then we'll press save, and we've got our condition here, and notice we've got an awful lot of signals there. We still need to add another condition for the Bollinger Band. So we're going to add condition, and we're going to select the price because we want to grab the high, and we want the high to be crossing above the Bollinger Band study, so it's another study, Bollinger Band, and we want it to be crossing above the upper band. Okay, we'll hit save, and we also want to put in within, because we want to give it some time, within 4 bars. Okay, and so now you can see where those conditions have taken place. You can zoom in and identify those. And guys, if you want to, you can even add studies to this. So you can actually add studies. Show you real quick here. Okay, you can actually add studies to the condition preview in case you want to actually build it all right here. You can. That's how I did the study for the video. I'm going to copy and paste this code here. All right, copy, and then we're going to cancel out of all of this, and we're going to go back to charts, and I'm going to show you how to then paste that into our template. We're going to edit studies, and there's my strategy that I created, and we're going to go ahead and get rid of that 0, and then we're going to paste in the code that we just generated using the Condition Wizard. And that's all there is to it, guys. You didn't have to really write any code. You did some copying and pasting, and you generated your rules using the Condition Wizard. I think it's pretty simple, but it can also be very complex as you build additional rules and add conditions. And so let's go ahead and compare that to the code that I already generated. I'm going to hit apply and OK. And then this was the one that I generated in preparation for the video. And so there you have it right there. Okay, so now we'll cancel, and the next thing I'm going to show you guys is how you can do the same thing in building a lower study so that you can see the spikes of where those entries and exits are being triggered. Okay, and I do realize this video is getting quite long, and I kind of expected that, so we're going to go through this next one in detail, and then for the other 3 studies and strategies that I want to explain to you, we're going to run through them rather quickly so that you can pause the video if you need to follow in detail. But I covered everything, I think, with the first study in sufficient detail that you'd have a good understanding, and then for the rest of them I'm just going to try and blow through those pretty quickly, so at least you get the coverage and the repetition. And if you need to, again, I apologize for going quickly, but just hit the pause button and rewind if you need to. Okay, So let's see what we've got. I'm going to go ahead and copy the two signals here that we've got. I'm going to paste those and show you how we paste those into a lower study. Okay, so we're on the Studies tab. So if we want to create a new study, then we go ahead and delete what's in here. And again, I'm going to grab the template that's available on our website. It's very simple. It's 3 lines of code. And then what we do is we take our conditions, the code that was generated by the Condition Wizard, and we use that and we replace the 0 and paste in the code that we got from our Condition Wizard. I hope there's a lot of like, holy cow, I can't believe this is so easy. I really do. And I'd love to hear your feedback, guys. So that's it. That's how you build that lower study. This is what mine looks like. So I'm not kidding. That really is how simple it is. Okay. So great. Now what I'm going to do is cover the next 3 strategies. I said very quickly. I'm just going to show you how to build them, and it's just going to be repetition and muscle memory kind of thing. And then we're going to close the video after I show you where you can go to get the special study at the end. Remember, the 4th study is a special study that I've adapted to work with the Condition Wizard, and then we're going to close things out. All right. So stick around, guys. And you know, it just occurred to me, guys, there's one more thing I wanted to cover before we show you the other studies, and that is how you actually place these conditional orders, because I know that some of you, as soon as you get to this point, you're ready to turn the video off and go play with Thinkorswim and work stuff out on your own. So before you guys leave, I want to make sure I show you how you actually place the orders. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to Studies, Edit Studies, and all I'm going to do is copy directly from the strategy. Isn't this great? Because you can use the same exact statement here in your strategy as you do for your conditional order with one twist. And I'm making this point right now so you understand. I'm going to copy this. We're going to have to add one little twist to this. Let me explain. So I've copied that to the clipboard, but before we go to place the conditional order, I want to explain something. That thing that I just copied, okay, is going to try to execute on this candle. We don't want that to happen, okay? Because using this strategy, if we backtest this strategy, that candle is closed, and it closed in that condition. If we use it just as it is, then it's going to execute as soon as that condition is true. And if that candle hasn't closed, by the end of the day, you could have a situation where the candle ends up closing lower, and now you don't have that rule, which is the RSI crossing above 25, and now you've entered an order for no good reason. So you have to shift everything. You see how the strategy is buying at market open on the following candle? So we need to shift everything forward one candle so that the conditional order is actually looking for the signal occurring on the previous bar. Okay? So I hope that I've explained that well enough. If not, just leave some comments, let us know. We'll try to make things more clear. So we'll go to Trade, and then we'll go ahead and access the Conditional Wizard. We'll go ahead and go to Study and Edit, and now we can paste. We can delete this. We can go to the ThinkScript editor. We don't need to rebuild it because we've already built it once, and we can just paste in what we copied from our strategy. And we can see again a confirmation of exactly how that executes in the preview down below. Okay. Now I told you there was going to be one little tweak. We're going to have to shift everything one bar to the left. Okay. How do we do that? We go to the Condition Wizard, and now we go ahead and we have our 2 conditions here. Okay. Our 2 conditions. Let me drag this down and resize this a bit so we can see both of them. We're going to click Edit, and we're going to offset. We're going to add 1 to both. You see the offset on the left is 0, the offset on the right is 1. It's very important. You press up and up, so it changes it from 0 to 1 on the left and 1 to 2 on the right. That shifts everything 1 bar to the right, so it's looking 1 bar previous for the signal to have occurred. This is how you would allow it. Now what would happen here on this, because it's a daily aggregation period, is that as soon as the next day's bar opened, at market open, as soon as that bar was created, the code would then look back and see a signal occurred the day previous, and automatically that order would be executed as a live market order. Okay, so we'll hit save, and then we'll go to edit for the second one, and we're going to offset that one by 1 as well. So we're changing both of the offsets, we're incrementing them +1 on both sides. We'll hit save. You can actually go back and look and verify that you see that that candle is the one that executes, not the one previous, because this is the candle right here, if you recall, that big up candle where the RSI had curved up, okay, and curved up and crossed over the 25 line, and this is the candle where the strategy is executing the buy to open order. So we have that spike placed in the correct place. You follow that? Okay, so if you get lost, you can verify it for yourself. As long as that spike occurs on the candle that you want to execute on, that's going to be matching what the strategy says. Okay, so then all you do is you press OK, and you can read the definition down here of exactly what's taking place, the description. And then you can click, let's make sure that this is set to a market order and good till cancel, and that's it. We'll hit save, confirm, and send. You get a notification here that this is a study-based order and can carry special risks. So we'll go ahead and acknowledge that. We're going to hit send, and then you can see in the monitor tab now I've added another order, okay, and you can view the code. It's all right in here. Can't edit it, that's a view only. Okay, so now let me show you how to enter the exit order. So go back to charts, and we'll go back to the code. We'll go to studies, edit studies, we'll go to the strategy, and then we'll grab that code that we generated from the Condition Wizard. We'll copy that. I'm just using a keyboard shortcut, cancel and cancel. Go back to the trade tab, and we want to go ahead and click the bid so that we can create a sell order. And we're going to ahead and use the gear icon to access the order rules. And down here we're going to click on symbol, and then below method we're going to click on study and edit, and then we're going to delete the condition that's existing. We're going to use the Think script editor, and we're going to paste in our code that we've copied from the strategy. And once again, we have to shift everything 1 bar to the right if we want it to match how the strategy performs. So how do we do that? We go to the Condition Wizard, we click edit on the condition, and then we increment each offset by 1. Then we hit save, and you can see everything got shifted 1 bar to the right. We click OK and save, then confirm and send, Okay, that's it, guys. So now you know how to use the Condition Wizard to create conditional orders. You know how to take that code that is used by the conditional order and drop it into a strategy, and as well as a lower study, so that you can view those things. And now we're going to show you the rest, so you get some repetition here, and then we'll show you where you can go to get the code for the special indicator that I'm providing that we're going to show at the very end. Okay, so stick around. Okay, let's go to the next strategy then, and this is the one that is based on the Stochastic and the Keltner channels. I'm going to go ahead and cancel these orders that we created in the previous step, just so that they're out of the way and not confusing us. And let's zoom in to one of these so you can see how the strategy is constructed. Okay, so you've got a Keltner channel, very similar to what I did with the Bollinger Band. You have a low closing below the lower band of the Keltner channel, followed by a Stochastic crossing back above. I think I've got the slow K crossing back above the slow D. We can look at it in detail to find out for sure. And then that's when you get a signal to enter. And then over here you've got the target is the mid channel of the Keltner, and that's how I've got the exit set up. Okay, so we can go ahead and go to studies, edit studies, and I can show you how that looks. This is code that was generated directly from the Condition Wizard. Okay, so we got the full K crossing above the full D, and the low is less than the Keltner channel's lower band. And I've got 10 bars space between them that permits that combination of signals to occur. Okay, so then I'm going to copy that, so I've got it for reference. And then the exits are occurring here based upon the high crossing above the average or the midline of the Keltner channel. Okay, so now let me show you how to build that very quickly. So we'll go ahead and go to Trade tab, and we'll create a buy order for DVN. We'll click the gear icon in the right. That will open the rules window, and then we'll click under symbol, click under method, and then go to study and edit, and then we can delete the condition that's there. I'm going to add a new condition, and this condition is going to be based on a study, which is the stochastic. Again, like I said, guys, I'm going quickly because I'm really long on the video, and I understand not everybody has the patience to stick with this. So stochastic full. Okay, so I've got the stochastic full K. I'm just looking back to my rules. Crosses above, and we're going to go ahead and reference the same study, so we'll go ahead and put that in over here. Stochastic full, and this time the full D. Okay, so we've got the full K crossing above the full D, and we hit save. And then there was another one, another condition, so we'll add a second condition here, make some room for it. And this one is going to be based on the Keltner channel. So again, it's another study. However, this side on the left needs a price because we're going to look for the low crossing below the study called Keltner channel. And we want to have it look at the lower band. Okay, we'll hit save. And then we can go to ThinkScript Editor, and we can just add in the last little part here within 10 bars. No, this is different. This is from 10 bars ago. Okay, so it's a slightly different way of viewing things there. It is essentially saying the same thing. It's giving 10 bars for both of those conditions to occur. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and copy that code and press cancel and cancel. Then we go back to charts, and then you go to studies, edit studies, and if we were creating a new strategy here as such, we would paste that in. Okay, then we would grab our template and we paste in our template, and then we would take this that's now turned red, that's okay, we're going to cut that and we're going to replace the 0 with that code. Okay, so that's it. I wanted to show you that one. We're not going to do the exit 2, except I'm going to show you how to build the exit in the Condition Wizard. But that again is how simple it is to take that code out of the Condition Wizard and build a strategy. So we're going to hit cancel, and next we're going to hit cancel. Let's go to trade, and then we'll go to the Condition Wizard. I'm going to show you another example of building an exit, and that is going to be based on the price hitting the midline of the Keltner channel. So the rule says we're going to add condition, and the rule says the high, so we're going to need a price. So we grab the high there, crosses above, and we're going to need a study because we want to get the middle band of the Keltner channel. Okay, so there it is. The high crosses above the average of the Keltner channel. Hit save, and we're done. So, and again, you could put the Keltner channels on here if you guys wanted to, and you can actually see how the signals are lining up with what your expectations, so you can make sure everything gets set up correctly. And once again, I want to remind you guys that if you're placing orders for this stuff, this is generating the code for the strategy and for your signals in your lower study. But if you want them to execute in the same way that the orders do, the theoretical orders on this strategy, then you need to edit the conditions and you need to increment the offsets by 1. You need to add 1 that shifts everything to the right, 1 bar, and that will allow you to get your conditional orders to execute in the same way that the theoretical orders do on the strategies. I know I'm repeating myself. I can't repeat myself enough with some of this stuff because it's very important. So let's go to charts. We've got another one to look at now. This is the one that's based on the Ichimoku. And this one uses an awesome oscillator as the exit. So we're using a cross of the 2 lines to give us an entry. Let me zoom in on that. Okay, so when the blue line crosses above the red line, that's when we get a signal to go long. And then when we have the awesome oscillator, let me zoom into this right here. You can see when the awesome oscillator goes below 0, that's when we get a signal to exit. Okay, so let's show you how to set up the Ichimoku entry in the Conditional Order Wizard. Let's go to Studies and Edit Studies. I'm going to go ahead and grab this code here just so I make sure that I've got it. Look at how simple that is. There's just nothing to it right there. And we're going to have, I'm pasting this off screen here, and then you've got the awesome oscillator close below 0. Look at how, I mean, it's just so basic, so simple. Nothing to this. Easy peasy, anybody can do this. So we'll go to Trade. We'll go ahead and use the gear icon over here on the right to access our order rules. See, I'm clicking here, guys. If you haven't noticed, it's tough to see, but there's nothing here to click on. You just click below the word symbol, and that gives you a symbol. Then you click below the word method. The screen jumbles up a little bit, and then you get access to the study and the edit study. We're going to delete that condition that's there, add another condition, and this condition is based upon the Ichimoku, so we're going to click study. Then we're going to type in the beginning of the spelling of the Ichimoku study, and we're going to grab one of the lines here, and that's the default one that's already here. Crosses above, and this is also going to be a study, and there we go, and that's going to be crossing above that line. So we hit save, and then you can even put the Ichimoku indicator on this preview too, and you can see how that execution is occurring right there. And okay, and again, once you are ready to place an order and you want the order to match how the performance of the strategy, you will increment these offsets by +1, and that will shift everything 1 bar to the right. I sound like a broken record, but this is important that I emphasize this stuff. So hit cancel and cancel, and then let's go ahead and do one for the exit. And that exit is going to be using an awesome oscillator. So we'll use a study here. Awesome oscillator crosses below, and this is a value because we want to measure when it crosses below 0, and that's it. We hit save and you're done. Okay, so that's how you would create the signal, the code that goes into your strategy or your lower study. And if you wanted to create an order, then you would add 1 to the offset. Okay, now there's only one offset on this one. So guys, offset, this is a good point to bring up. Offsets are only available on studies. Offsets are not available on values. Okay, so in this case, to place an order to execute the awesome based upon the awesome oscillator, then you would add 1 to the offset. Okay, and then hit save. I'm going to hit cancel and cancel because I don't need to save these. Guys, next I'm going to be showing you the fourth and final study that we're able to use in the Conditional Order Wizard, and it's one that I had to sort of massage into place. It didn't work as it came naturally out of the box, so I had to do some work. And you're going to receive that code for free as soon as I show you how to place the conditional order using this code. I'll also show you where on the website that you can go to copy and paste this code, as well as the templates for the strategies and the lower studies, so that you can do all this on your own platform. Okay, and here it is, guys. We're going to go on to the fourth and final indicator, and that is the Slm Ribbon. Now this is the modified version, the one that I've modified. You can see the signals. You've got arrows here. You can see that little green arrow there. You can see these 2 green arrows here. Those are buy signals, and there's some red arrows here for sell signals. All right, and that's what the strategy is using. When it gets a buy signal, it executes at the open of the following bar. That's how the strategy is set up to work. Okay, and then I'll zoom back out here, and you can see that there's 1 loss and a couple of wins on this particular stock. And so now let's go to the Trade tab, and we'll create a conditional order as we've done with the others. We'll go ahead and select Study, and we'll edit, and then we'll delete the existing condition. We'll add another condition, and we want to reference a study, and guess what that study's name is? SLM. Now I want to show you this here. This is why I had to rewrite the study so that it would work. this is the one that's going to fail, okay? Because we're going to try to reference the buy signal, and we're going to say is true. That's all we need. Hit save, okay? And we get an error. The compound value is throwing this thing off, okay? So this is an example of a study that is too complex to be evaluated by the Condition Wizard. However, in this particular case, I was able to get in under the hood and fix it to remove the compound values, and they were just being used to color the candles. So I was able to remove that and get it to work. So watch. We're going to delete this code right in here. We're going to go back to the Condition Wizard. We're going to add a condition. We're going to pick from studies, and we're going to type in that study name. Notice this one here, I've got it tagged as SIGs only. That's signals only, okay? And we're going to access the buy signal is true and click save. Do you see any errors? No. And you see the signals down here? Bingo! We got it working, guys. So here it is. You're going to be able to use the SLM Ribbon study in Conditional Orders. You're going to be able to use the code that I'm providing. I'll show you where to get that in a short bit. But you're going to be able to use that code to build strategies in Thinkorswim. In fact, we're probably going to be providing the code in the form of a strategy, since that's the only thing that you guys don't have access to. We've covered, just for information purposes, we've covered the SLM Ribbon study in the previous video. And if you're interested to learn more about that, we'll provide a link here so that you can check that out. Okay, so right now what I'm doing is I'm going to post on the top of the screen here at the top portion of the video in a white bar that comes across from the side. It's going to be a URL of a web page that's on the Hahn-Tech website, and that link that I'm showing you now is the web page where this video is hosted. You may be watching this video from that very web page. All you do is, just like we've done in previous videos, scroll down below where you see the video. If the video is in full screen mode, you're not going to be able to do this. But you go to that website, before the video starts playing, you'll be able to scroll below the video, and underneath the video on that page, before the comment section, you will see little blocks of code that you can copy and paste out of the website and into your own Thinkorswim platform or into a Word doc, or however you want to do that. Okay, so that's the link, guys. Sorry to go so long. I hope you guys were patient enough to stick with this, but I really wanted to make sure I covered this in detail. It's really such a powerful, simple tool, and yet it can really do a lot of damage to an account if you're not really careful. So I really want to emphasize, guys, do this on paper money. Don't do this with live money until you're really comfortable and have broken a few things with paper money before you try to put real money at this, okay? So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. I really appreciate it. Take care, everyone. Thank you for watching this tutorial video. Be sure to visit www.hahn-tech.com for the full library of tutorials. I hope this video increases your knowledge and helps you become more efficient with this topic, whether for home or work. Please support this channel by sharing these videos with your friends and colleagues. Thanks, and take care.